Hi, my name is Laura. If you're new to this channel, I probably should give you a little explanation about what you're about to see. We as a community are very critical of another YouTuber who uses this forum to continue her lifelong habit of grifting and theft. There is a website in the description box if you're interested. One of her many sins is taking food from food pantries while she talks out of both sides of her mouth. One side claiming food insecurity and she's poor and hungry, and the other side claiming to be so successful and making tons of money off of YouTube, so much money that we who criticize her are just jealous of her success. It can't be both ways. But one of her most recent food gifts was wasted so egregiously. I wanted to see what I could do with the same food. Right now, I'm living alone. She's living alone. She's a single woman living alone. I am married, but I'm home alone right now. So I have duplicated through going to the store and using my own pantry the food that she received, and I'm going to see what I can do with it. So let me show you the food. I tried to get as close as I could. Glenda received 2 quarts, I believe, of shelf-stable milk. This is out of my own pantry. It's 3 smaller things. I do use this organic shelf-stable milk because I don't drink milk as a beverage, but I use it. Sometimes I need it for cooking, and I use it in my hot tea. So, got that. Bag of apples, picked them up at the store. Bag of onions. Bag of carrots. Bag of potatoes. For the rest of the produce, Glenda did have some fresh green beans, and when I went to the store last night, as unbelievable as it sounds, there were no fresh green beans in the produce section. I guess, we're still having supply issues from COVID. So I bought a bag of sugar snap peas instead. She had a bag of the pre-washed and trimmed green beans. One thing that's a little different is she had 2 cans of canned chicken. And the last time she got it, she kept calling it tuna, even though it was chicken. As she used it, both cans, for one meal, she kept calling it tuna. Well, I don't have canned chicken, but I couldn't justify buying something that I already have, and I do have tuna. And so I think that's pretty much equivalent. So I've got, not cans, but the little packets, 2 packets of tuna. She received a jar of marinara sauce. Since I was purchasing it, I went ahead and bought the low sodium, but if somebody gave it to me, I wouldn't be picky. Here's a couple more things right out of my pantry. It's a bag of lentils, box of spaghetti, and the equivalent of a bag of rice. I think she had, I think she had a 1 or a 2 pound bag of rice. I'm still going through my 20-pound bag of rice that I bought last spring when we were buying whatever we could. Cream of chicken soup. Glenda had 2 quart size, but I'm sure that was probably ready to serve. I've never seen it in the cartons, like like milk or chicken stock comes in the quart cartons. I've never seen that, but it's probably ready to serve, and this is condensed. So I think that's a equivalent. And again, since I was buying it, I did get the healthy request, the lower sodium. And she had a can of peaches. I got a can of peaches too. She immediately thought of peach cobbler. Well, I don't see myself making a peach cobbler for one, so I'll probably have this with some cottage cheese for several breakfasts. When I say her waste of this food was egregious, it's because she put practically the entire allotment into 2 pots and made 2 huge vats of food that there's no way one person could eat. And she clearly wasn't thinking about trying to make it good or nutritious, or think, you know, it was just quickly, let's use this up. I'm thinking with a little bit of planning and a little bit of skill in the kitchen, I want to see how long this food will last me. The first thing I'm going to make is I'm going to use 1 can of this cream of chicken soup. And when I was at the store, I bought a quart of chicken stock, a block of cream cheese, and a bag of hash browns. You know where I'm going with this. I'm making the internet famous loaded baked potato soup. In other words, I'm falling for this stupid crap, according to Glenda. So I'll be having that today and probably most of tomorrow, and I'll just see what I can do with this food, and I'll keep a running total of what I spend in addition to it and get back to you. This is day 2 of delicious lentil stew. I just used 1 slice of bacon, 1 onion, 2 carrots, some chicken stock, a can of diced tomatoes, and that's it. With some Mrs. Dash. It's really good. Well, it was really good yesterday, and I imagine it's going to be even better today. Today is day 6 of my food bank challenge, and I'm going to make this vegetarian dish. I'm not using a recipe, I'm using a method that you'll see all over online. I'll try to link a few channels. There are these channels, they do vegetarian cooking in an ASMR style. Sometimes it's just the vegetables with some oil and eggs patted out on a sheet tray and baked, and sometimes they add milk and flour to the egg mixture and put it in a baking pan and bake it, and that's what I'm going to do. So I've got an onion and carrots from my blessing, I'll call it, and I bought 1 zucchini, which was less than 60 cents, 50 something cents. I've got 1 clove of garlic. I did buy some eggs. I normally would use olive oil for this, but the only oil I have in the house is grapeseed oil. So I'm going to grate these veggies, saute them with a little oil. Depending on what it looks like after I saute it, I'll decide which size baking pan I need. Okay, I also seasoned with it salt, not salt and pepper and Mrs. Dash. And then here is my mixture. I've used 3 eggs, 2 heaping teaspoons of flour, a little splash of oil, a splash of milk. Say probably, I probably got about a quarter cup of milk and a couple tablespoons of oil. And I did use self-rising flour because I think these recipes, if I remember right, they call for a little pinch of baking powder. But I left that out since I've got this self-raising flour. So I'm just going to mix that up, pour it over the vegetables. I'm going to sprinkle on a little bit of this cheese. I've been using this bag of cheese I had in the freezer all week. So I'll sprinkle over just a little bit and bake it. It's delicious, it's cheap, it's low in calories, and I'm not going to taste of it. I'm going to eat the crap out of it. Hi, well, here's my wrap up for week 1 on the Glenda Sully Food Bank Challenge. Being by myself and not going out to eat, I've realized that I don't need to cook every day. There's no possible way when I cook, that's enough food for 2 days, whether I want it to be or not. And I did at the beginning when I was buying my blessing, I bought some extra groceries to fill out. I have spent so far $30.27 this week. But of course I have tons of stuff that'll see me through this. I bought some bacon and eggs, some instant oatmeal, some yogurt, bought a bag of hash browns to make that soup, and then I realized if I make it again, I didn't even need to do that. I could have just grated the potatoes. And bought the cream cheese for the soup. I bought some cottage cheese, and that's pretty much, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I bought a zucchini and some broccoli crowns. And I just bought one zucchini and just one bunch of broccoli crowns. I don't want to get too many perishable things. So what I had this week, I started on Wednesday, this last week. Wednesday and Thursday, I made that loaded potato soup. It was delicious. It was even better the second day. Friday and Saturday, I made lentil stew. It was delicious. I just, these are the kind of things I like to eat when I'm on my own. So that lasted Friday and Saturday. And then on Sunday, I made the vegetable casserole, and I had that Sunday and Monday. And then yesterday, I was planning on cooking, but I still had like a full bowl of the lentil stew, and I still had a good sized piece of the veggie casserole. So I just had that for my main meal. And then I just fill in the bacon and eggs. I don't eat like bacon and eggs for breakfast. Those are things that I used to cook with. So usually for breakfast, if I'm gonna have breakfast, I have a bowl of oatmeal or a carton of yogurt. So, sometimes I don't feel like having anything until closer to lunch. For snacks, the cottage cheese came in really handy. I would have the cottage cheese with an apple, or just the cottage cheese, or just the apple, or a cup of yogurt. I was not hungry at all. And next week, I've got my food plan here for next week. And so far, the only thing I think I'll need to buy is I want to get a small thing of olive oil and a head of lettuce. I'm enjoying this challenge. I'm enjoying the opportunity to be creative with menu planning for one. So I'll see you next week.